Hello, everyone. Welcome to our round two roundup of Roland Garros. And I'm here with someone special today. I will let her introduce herself in a minute, but if you have been listening to Ground Pass for a while, you know that every Grand Slam, we do a fashion roundup. We talk about all the kits, what we're loving, what we're not loving so much, and just kind of bring you a little bit of this sort of collaboration of fashion and tennis, because I think it's such a big part of tennis. You know, we see people like Morgan, who is Taylor Fritz's girlfriend, bringing that sort of energy, and you see people dressing up to go to tennis matches. So we love to talk about all of that stuff and what's going on court, and Roland Garros has delivered. So I am joined today by Kaya. Kaya, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Kaya Courtside on TikTok and Instagram. Well, I got into tennis, I want to say like early last year, so still a beginner in everything, in every single realm of tennis. But yeah, I started playing actually last year too, so learning that. Again, very early stages. Yeah, make mostly tennis fashion content and just overall tennis content on.
Yeah, I saw one of your reels. I think it was the Nike one that I saw first on Instagram, and I was like, I have to talk to her. I have to talk to her about all things fashion. So these episodes tend to go really long. It has been my experience. So we are going to jump right in. And just before we go into it, what do you think that relationship is between tennis and fashion? Do you see that there is sort of like a connection there?
For sure, yeah. I am of the opinion that kits, they are functional first and foremost. They have to be functional, but they can also look really nice. And, tennis has a big history of fashion with Serena's outfits. Like, she did many, many amazing things, especially
Yeah.
Serena. So love her. Yeah, very, very important to tennis, especially nowadays, where everything is really online and everything is really, fashion focused in
Yeah.
this space. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think Serena did so much for kind of bringing fashion onto court. I think it was just something that she loved and she wanted to bring it to her kits, and she really led the game. I think also on the men's side, for example, Roger Federer, and I will never forget that sort of cardigan sweater moment at Wimbledon with like the gold pipe. I was like, that was definitely a look, and he thought about what he was wearing on court. So let's jump right in. How this will be structured is we're going to go through all of the brands, then, talk about some others, because there are just so many brands. When I was putting together this slide, I just thought, wow, there are so many brands doing some fun things in tennis. So we'll go through all of that. And then we will talk about our winners and losers, because that's the fun part, obviously. So let me share my screen here. And if you're just listening to this podcast on a podcast listener of your choice, first of all, give us 5 stars, obviously. But I would suggest really watching this one. I think this is one you want to watch. If you are on Spotify, you're already getting the video. But if you're on Apple Podcasts or anything, jump over to our YouTube so you can see the looks that we are talking about. So let me share my window here, a little preview of what we're going to be talking about. And let us start with Nike. Now, it's really interesting, I think, because Nike was also Serena Williams' brand. Like, that's who she was represented by. So we know that they can do great things. Of late, it's been really interesting. I don't think they've kind of pushed the envelope a little bit, but this is the first time, especially with the women's, we're starting with the women, that I think they're doing something different. There are a lot of details here. What do you think of Nike's kits this year?
I have a divided opinion. So
Okay.
I will just start off by saying I love the women's, but I hate the men's.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about women's, I'm very into it. I really, really like it. Very classy silhouettes, I think. Very reminiscent of, the vintage kits that we used to get way back in the day. Yeah, really like it. I love the shapes of the dresses, the colors. I think the burgundy is my favorite, although it doesn't super stand out on the clay, I don't think, from what I've
No,
seen.
yeah.
But I'm into it. The lilac, wow, what a great color. Incredible. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah. No, I think they did a really, it's all in the details, like the little collars, the pleats and the skirts. I think they're really cool. And, you know, I think, especially with the women, we can talk a little bit about the customization because they also represent Quinn Wen and Naomi Osaka. And with those two kits, they've definitely gone custom. So with Naomi, she's had this flower theme going through Grand Slams. I think it was a daisy in Australia, and I think it's cherry blossoms for Roland Garros. And I really liked her kit. I also really, it's funny because I don't think it's for everyone. It's very girly, it's very Harajuku, but I love that she has a point of view, you know?
Mm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I think she mentioned that it's Sailor Moon inspired,
Oh,
possibly.
is it really? I
She
love
said,
Sailor
yeah,
Moon.
she did say, I think it's the hairstyle actually, for the most part. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. I think it's so, so cute. It's like my favorite kit, I think, so far in
Yeah,
everything.
no. You know, I think a lot of people might have been like, oh, it's girly. And I'm like, well,
Mm,
you don't have to like everything. But I
literally.
love, again, that she had a point of view. And then with Arena, it's funny because her kit, what she's wearing, the dress, it's more sort of like their typical
Mm,
dress. You know, I don't think there's anything, she didn't have the one with like the collars and the pleats and things like that. But I love the tiger
mm,
customization that they've done on her bag and her shoes. Like
mhm.
they're starting to slowly, I think, give her more stuff.
For sure. I think it's so important as a world number one, obviously to have your kit be so different to everyone. Although I did see someone else wear the dress. I'm not sure if she was sponsored by Nike though, or if she just chose to wear it. Not sure.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was a bit of like a wait, I've just seen this on Arena. So I feel like there should be more of customization for her for sure. Like Naomi gets, literally custom kits. I feel like Arena should also get that level,
Yeah.
hopefully she will soon.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because, for example, Quinn Wen, which this was a very interesting story. I don't know if you've heard of it yet, but the lilac color that she has in the dress, I have not seen anyone else wear it. And then I have this photo here of her in this like long pleated skirt. And she told Tennis Channel that that was a custom skirt made for her to walk out on court with, but she was too shy to do it. Like it's apparently it just like velcros off, and then the dress is underneath. Which I was like, I was like, can someone please tell her to wear it?
I'm so obsessed with it. I really want her to walk out like that. It will be such a moment if she
uh,
just takes it off and reveals the actual tennis skirt underneath it. I think it would be really cool. I did see
yeah.
her say that as well. And to be fair, I have seen, I think brands like design sketches of these skirts. I think there's more colors from what I've seen. So
Oh,
yeah, excited to see who will wear those if they are even worn. But yeah,
yeah.
it was great. Obsessed.
Uh, I really, I really hope she changes her mind and she's encouraged to walk out with it because it'd be
For sure.
great. But so yeah, Nike did great with the women. I think this is the first time where the Nike women's collection, I'm like, ooh, I like this. I really do like this. Then we go to the men.
Yeah. There's a lot going on there, but also
Okay, let's
nothing at all. It's so like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
let's talk about the positives. I actually really like the sort of because they guys, Carlos and Sinner, they both had these rugby shirts to walk out on court with, which are fine. They're just typical vintage looking rugby
Mm.
shirts. I think that's great. And maybe they should have stuck more to that theme. All the others, you're getting that sort of like escape from Alcaraz vibe with his, or like he's a hamburglar or something like
It's
that. And then with Sinner, it's giving very Luigi.
yeah.
I don't know.
And Jack Draper also wore one of these, and he looked like Mario. So you got a Luigi and Mario pair there. Yeah, it feels like I also have a lot to say about nothing at all because like I just don't really understand why they went with that.
Yeah.
I believe it's an ode to like one of the vintage kits, so there's a cool reference there. But the prison-esque vibe, just don't really understand. And also with the burgundy, the shorts don't actually match any of the colors on the shirt, so at least if it matched, then okay, I guess. But they don't,
Right.
so you just introduce another shade of burgundy for what?
Yeah, this one was a tough sell. And it's one of those things. So every time a new collection comes out, you kind of first get those sort of the pictures that are released by the company. And especially with Nike and Adidas, they use this sort of like just fit models. And a lot of times I feel like we don't get the actual look of what it'll look like on an athlete. And a lot of times we're surprised, I think, where you see it on Arena or you see it on one of the guys and you're like, oh, that doesn't look as bad. When I saw the first photos of these, I thought, no, there's no way. I was like, that's a joke. It's like April Fool's. Is it April? Like, what is happening? And then I truly did not believe they were going to wear this until they walked out on court.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah, it was a shock to the system for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully next tennis season we'll get something better, but this really didn't deliver. I feel like Carlos can pull anything off. I think any of them can pull anything off, but this is
Right.
setting them
This
up
is
for
pushing.
failure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's pushing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Nike men. Try better next time. And then on to Adidas, where I don't know about you, with Adidas for me, and this is with most of their kits, except for the ones that looked like the girls were wearing bat wings. I don't know if you remember, it was like a purple, black, white combo when they did that. But for the most part, I feel like Adidas is it's just there. They went with the tennis yellow because, we're playing tennis, so you might as well. And then black. So it's not hideous, but it's just
I definitely agree. It's not bad, but it's also not good. Obviously I love a full black kit. That is one of my favorite kinds of kits because it's just simple, classy, classic, but it looks so good. For example, obviously this is Nike, but Sinner's comeback kit was
so good.
incredible. He looks so good. And then this is just, I don't know, this is very subpar. Like, it's great, and Jesper Gula looks incredible. Everyone else does, but I just there's not a lot here. I agree. And with the tennis yellow green, I guess, yeah, we will do it. I guess that's it. That's all I have to say. We'll just be doing it. But why?
But why? Like, what is the sort of there? It almost like there's no vision. It's just like, okay, tennis dress, tennis shirt, pick tennis green color, and call it a day.
That was the thought process, I think, behind that.
Nailed it. Okay, New Balance. New Balance is one of the brands for me that I think they're doing really great things. So far this year, I've kind of really liked all of their collection, the men and women. And later on this episode, we will talk about New Balance's collaboration with a luxury brand. But I think with Coco, they do a pretty good job every time. This dress she has here. But I think the standout moment of this look was her walking out in a leather jacket.
I loved that so much. I honestly thought she looked incredible. Yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed. New Balance, they're really doing it, especially this year. Everything that she's walked out in, especially Coco. Wow, I'm just, love her, love everything. Especially this one. It's like the marbled look. I'm really obsessed with it. I love the shape of the skirt. Very like asymmetrical and very up my street, I think.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And I also love the fact, I mean, she's still, which is crazy to me, that she's still the only tennis player with a shoe that you can buy in a store that you're like, it says Coco Gauff. Like, I know Nadal had like his shoe as well with Nike. I believe Roger had one as well back in the day. But like, this is the Coco Gauff shoe. And with stars that we have now, like Sinner, Alcaraz, Ben Shelton, whoever, I'm so shocked that we don't have a custom shoe for these athletes yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Obviously, Coco, she's such a great player. I love her so much, one of my favorites. So I think definitely that is what she deserves and much more. Yeah, very strange. I don't know why we don't have other custom shoes. I think maybe that should be the next move for a lot of brands, but...
Yeah, I know. I just think it's so easy to do, even with Arena having the tiger now on her shoe. And I think Yonex has the little fox on his shoe. I'm like, sell those. Like, people want to buy that. And maybe that's something we'll talk about in the end. But I feel like sometimes it's hard to get these kits that the athletes are wearing on court, you're like, I should be able to go to the store and be like, I want the Coco dress with the socks and the shoes, like the look, let's go, you know?
I definitely agree.
Yeah. What did you think of the men's? Like, I usually like all their stuff. The men's this year for New Balance, we have Tommy Paul here wearing one of it. It was kind of like, okay, I'm not sure I love the color.
It's a bit subpar, I think, to the women's. So for once, women are on top. Love that for us. But yeah, I think it's just okay. Once again, there's, not a whole lot there. I don't think they try to make it look as, matchy to the women's either. I think they're trying to do something different, and maybe they should just, go matchy with the women to actually make it look like a cohesive collection and make them look a bit nicer, I think, the men.
Yeah, no, I agree actually. Like make it part of, one look, because if you saw that photo, you might think, wait, was that a different tournament? But it's not. It's all like the French Open.
Exactly.
But yeah, Wilson, they get it. I don't know. They just get it. I think it gets hard to just every single tournament be like, well, Wilson nailed it. But what do you think of this collection?
Well, I'm obsessed. I've been waiting for those yellow colors to come up on court, and I'm finally getting them. I think they're incredible. I love them. Obviously, Marta pulls every single look off. She could be wearing a bin bag and she would look incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say though, I'm not too keen on that sage green color. I don't really get it. I think they're trying to go for something new, which it's not a bad thing. I think she looks great. Just not really sure on the color, but I love everything else. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I completely agree actually, because I like the cut of Martha's dress, but the color not so much. I'm more first of all, the yellow, insane. Just I mean, that is the color for sure. The navy blue though does work as well, the one that Peyton Stearns is wearing. So I really love these colors, which I'm not sure, because it seems like I have two photos here, one of Victoria Mumboku and then Alicia Parks. And Alicia Parks' skirt doesn't have the white trim on the bottom, but Victoria's does. So I wonder, are there two shades of yellow, like a butter and then a more sort of fluorescent? Not sure.
Yeah, no, I feel like there are. But I feel like she's also, is she not wearing a dress? Might be wrong.
I just thought it was tucked in.
Yeah, okay, maybe you're right.
I don't know. Maybe it is a dress.
Because Victoria's is obviously a two-piece, but I don't know. I mean, that's what I thought when I saw it.
So you know what? You're probably right that is a dress, because it's clearly a two-piece on Victoria, clearly a two-piece on Peyton, but she has more sort of, it's one fit. Yeah, I really like those two. Again, with the details, I love the collar, the buttons. Like, I love details like that. And maybe if Martha's was a different color, I think it would go as well, because it is kind of, it's very muted, especially against the clay.
I feel like if it was one of the yellows, it would be like look of the year once again for Marta. But yeah, no, it just feels so random. I think like the navy blue and then obviously the two different yellows. They just make so much sense, but that green just really doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. Wilson nails it again. Enough said. Yonex, yeah. They're another one where it's not offensive, but maybe do something else. Because I almost think like this is what they do all the time, and then they just switch up the colors. Like it's the same cut, same fit, and then they just change up the colors.
I mean, obviously, not necessarily like the worst thing ever to just do what they do really well, but they do come out with some crazy designs, and then they just come out with like a very muted, but also, as you said, the same silhouette, the same shape, everything. I don't hate it. I am actually okay with this. This color, for example, I think it looks really nice against the clay. It's not offensive, but I like it, but it's just, that's it. Doesn't go further than that.
Right. Yay, Yonex. Okay, so this one, I have thoughts on Asics in general, because they're the brand that I've never really gotten along with. Like, it just feels very sort of, I think it's, Target, Kmart, like just not, premium in a way. And then they came out with the APC collaboration with the almost sort of toga look that the players had in Rome and Madrid. And I was like, oh my gosh, like why are they debuting their Roland Garros looks now? Because these are, I mean, I was in love with Lorenzo Mussetti's look, in love. And then
Mm.
we just kind of came back to this. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they set the bar really high with that collab, and then, as you said,
Yeah.
they came back to this, and it's like, what? I feel like they really played it safe here. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, they're not super bad, but they're also not super good. Kind of like Adidas, they're just kind of there. Yeah, I don't know. I love the APC collab. It's like my favorite. I have the cap. It was
Oh,
so good. I think everyone looked good. Jasmine, Alex, Eva, Lorenzo, all incredible. I was
yeah.
obsessed. I was obsessed. They pulled it off so well, and then yeah, we're back to here.
We're back to here. I think I saw recently, I think they're doing something special now with Alex. They both have Alex and Jasmine as their top ranked player, but in
Mm-hmm.
this photo, for example, Alex's kit is completely different. Color, tone, everything. So that's interesting. And I know he was wearing some off-court stuff where I think, oh, what did it say? It was like either catch the demon or follow
Yeah,
the
yeah,
demon.
yeah. I
Yeah,
did see
that
that.
one.
Yeah, that was really
So
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So I think maybe they're doing something special with him because his kit like, has orange in it and it doesn't even seem like
Yeah.
part of the same collection.
No, it doesn't. I saw his match today actually, and I was like, I didn't realize that that's what he was going to be wearing because I saw everyone else's kit, and I was like, he's definitely going to be wearing obviously either that green that Lorenzo's wearing, and or
Hmm.
the what the women are wearing. To be honest, but I was a bit surprised. I don't know why they wouldn't give him the same kit as Lorenzo. I guess obviously to make them stand out a bit, but then not for the women. I
But yeah, it's not cohesive is the
no,
thing. Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Um, I mean, that APC kit forever will be just the
They need to do
best.
a part two, I think,
A
next year.
part two, or maybe sort of, see how well that did and
Mm,
reconsider
for sure.
their cuts and shapes because I think this is just what they do all
Hmm.
the time,
Yeah,
really.
I agree.
Yeah. Lululemon. This one's interesting. Lululemon have been, I couldn't find a better photo of Leila Fernandez in this, but they've always done really good stuff for her, in my
Mm,
opinion. I've really actually loved all the stuff they did for her. And this one in particular, I kind of love, it seems like it's a faux wrap dress for the skirt.
yeah.
Like,
Mm,
I'm pretty sure that won't sort of just unravel, but it's maybe like a faux wrap dress kind of look, which I kind of like.
mm,
And then Francis Tiafo signed with them earlier this year. And truly, so far up until this moment, I haven't really loved anything he had on. Like he had that sort of basically this, but pink, like
yeah.
that sort of fuchsia pink thing he did at the Australian Open. And
Yeah.
it wasn't my favorite. But this blue with the blue socks, the blue
Mhm,
arm sleeve, the blue, there's just something about this shade that is it works, I think.
mhm.
What
I'm
do you
obsessed.
think?
It's so good. He smashed it. He looks great. Um, obviously a monochromatic look can be a bit hard to pull off sometimes. It can be a bit like, oh yeah, boring, whatever. But this is
Yeah.
so good, and it stands out so much against the clay. It's amazing. Although I'm just wondering, is it the same shade of blue on Layla as on him, or is it because hers looks quite muted, or is that just a blue?
Yeah. I think it's a different shade of blue.
Because his one is quite like it's like a light electric blue, I would say.
Mm, yeah.
Mm, I love
Yeah. I
it.
feel like it is a different shade of blue on
Mm,
her, which again, it's like, why is it
yeah,
different?
literally. Yeah, I do love the fur wrapped. I think that's actually quite cool. They're trying to do something different. So yeah, love both of these to be honest, a lot.
Yeah, yeah. No, Lululemon, they're coming into the space. They're a new brand in the space. They've been with Layla now for a few years.
Mm,
And I always wondered, oh, why don't they have more players? Like it almost like they signed her and then kind of stopped a bit.
mhm,
But it's nice to see them come back into the space
mhm,
with Tiafo. And then hopefully they sign more. They've actually signed this young American player, Ethan Quinn. He is signed to Lululemon,
mm.
but right
Okay.
now all his kits are just kind of like no offense, it's just what you get in the store and you just put them together. I don't think what he was wearing in I think it was gray. It was like white and gray. It had nothing to do with the blue. Again, I wish these brands would be more cohesive with things.
I do agree. I mean, it's so interesting because I think people associate Lululemon with, yummy mummies and like typically women. So it's so interesting that they have been signing men, and I'm loving it. I didn't love Francis. What was it? It was like a light blue, but he had like a very weird like purpley like sweatband and everything. I was like, it's a bit random.
Yeah.
But this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, they nailed this one for sure. Oh boy. You know what? My mom said if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Really? Okay. So I actually, very unpopular opinion. I love these.
No.
They are my favorite, I
You
will
know
say.
what? Sell it to me. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Sell me. We're talking about On. I have in front of me 3 photos of On ombre. Tell me why you like this one.
Well, first of all, it looks like a sunset, which I think is a vibe. I love these are my favorite colors. So this is all personal opinion. I just,
Mm-hmm.
all my favorite colors into one, except for black. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Can I sell these? I'm gonna try. I feel like they do stand out. Whenever you see a gradient, you think of On. Wilson was doing like a gradient thing, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, On's copying Wilson," but actually, it wasn't copied On. I
Right.
think with that gradient in the last collection, and so this is kind of their distinctive thing now, and you know, also love the fact that Iga is the only female player wearing this.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you see this, you just know it's her. So I'm
Yeah.
obsessed. I think they look
Yeah.
great. I don't understand the hate. Like, I kind of get it. But I also don't. I think this is honestly one of the nicest kits that they've done, the nicest colorways. I just think it looks great. I love it. So,
I I love that you like these. For me, I think when On first came on the scene and they had the gradient, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's great." Like their first few collections I loved. Loved the
mm,
gradient. I loved when like Ben would have the white version and the black version with the gradient, or like the one with the sort of like almost gradient stripe
yeah.
with, it was kind of like a cross stripe, but
Yeah.
either way, I liked it. I have gradient fatigue is what I think is
Mhm.
happening. Because I think it's just every season now, it's just another gradient and another gradient. And it's very interesting what you said there, where you said, well, it's On's thing. They do the gradient, and any other brand that does gradient, they're just copying On. And I wonder, is that something that we should just expect, where it's sort of like, well, this is what they do. They are the gradient, brand. And instead of expecting something different, they just, they do it in a different way, different colorways and things like that. That's an interesting thought that I hadn't even thought of.
Yeah, I feel like it's the thing now. Whether they're gonna carry on, who knows? But I feel like they saw something. They're like, okay, no one else is doing gradient. Let's just stick with this. Who knows? They might go back to doing like the one like X or whatever spray painted on. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm into it. And again, if you see a brand doing gradient, it's probably like, oh yeah, must be On, but it's not. And
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I'm into it a lot.
Okay. Okay. There. I love that, because we can't just always have the same opinions.
Yeah.
That would be boring.
Mm.
Lacoste. They're not usually one of my favorites.
Hmm.
And again, it's one of those brands where when you look at all of these together, the ones in the middle, so we're Lacoste and it's like Daniel Medvedev, Grigor Dimitrov, that's Bernarda Pera. That looks like a cohesive collection. It's the sort of like deep blue,
Mm.
fuchsia, like that's the same collection. And then you have Arthur Fils and Novak Djokovic, and they're in different worlds.
Hmm.
And Lacoste always does this. Now I know with Novak, literally it's that red. It feels like that's what he wore 12 years ago, just now. And then with Arthur, it's this sort of like gray, I don't know, like almost splatter, maybe you could say. And if I was looking at this, like the blue and the fuchsia, I like that. They have a vision, they have a
Mm.
colorway. That is their Roland Garros kit. The other two, I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you
I feel
think?
like with Novak, they're just trying to do like his thing, so he's gonna have
Mm-hmm.
his, own like own little thing. Which fair enough, it's his brand at this point. This shade of
Right.
red, so that works. For Arthur, I'm not really sure why they did this to him because I feel like he deserved a better kid than that. Like even Medvedev, obviously he got the the white polo of the pink like splatter. I think it's splatter or it's just like spray paint effect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I think he looks great, and then they did that to Arthur, and I just don't know why.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with someone with his skin tone, he could totally have pulled off color
Mm,
so well. And I just feel like the gray, it's just a bit drab, in my
yeah.
opinion. Again, the cut is fine. It's a typical polo.
Mm,
It's fine, but you're right. I just don't know why.
mm.
And it's not like it's actually an exclusive color to him because I've seen other players with that same gray. So yeah, don't know.
Yeah, I think he deserved the royal blue color because it
Yeah.
just looks so good. I love the fuchsia pink and the royal blue. They go so well together. Normally, I wouldn't put these colors together, but I'm really obsessed actually.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really looks great. And then the
Mm,
sort of the dress they have. I love when
mm,
dresses and like they have the details like this sort of perforated.
hmm.
It's almost like it looks like knit is what
Yeah,
I'm thinking
I
it
feel like it
is.
is. I saw it close up, and it looked quite knitted. It doesn't look like a thick knit, which obviously that
Mm,
would like kill you if you tried to play in that for like 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with it. I love the shape. Again, it's classic Lacoste, but I think the colors really do good there.
yeah, yeah. Next up, others. Okay, we're getting to the end there. Others. These are, I just pulled some of these because there's so many brands now in tennis, and I love that there's some different things coming up. We, of course, have EA7 and Poriamani. Like, they do their thing, which I feel like is a little bit more, again, it's just classic. It's tennis. It's like
Mm,
a polo and shorts,
mhm,
and there's nothing there. What I really wanted to talk about is Fila because I'm kind of obsessed with the colors that they did. I also saw Brendan Nakashima was wearing like this sort of burgundy with the orange like details on it, and I really loved it. And
mhm,
then also Jelena Ostapenko, which this brand, it's basically it's a store. Like she just
mm.
went and bought that, but it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, I love it. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I need to know what the brand is. So
Yeah,
do they
I
actually sponsor her, or is she just buying that herself? Because I heard like mixed opinions about that. Whether they sponsor her
yeah,
or she just bought that herself.
I feel like I don't knowing Elena, she probably just bought a whole bunch. I don't know if they
Mm,
sponsor her. I actually did find the brand and it's like they had tons of tennis stuff, but it
mm,
just looked like they were just a regular brand like a Lululemon or an Alioga. And I will put the name of it in the description. I know I have posted it to social media before because she wore this look in Rome for the first time. And I literally was like, I must find because I would wear that. Like if I was going to wear a tennis dress, it would be that. The color
mm,
is phenomenal. It has this little like belt detail. And when I went to the website of the brand, they had this sort of like tracksuit, but it was very tailored. So I felt like it
mm,
was like a tracksuit that you could, I don't know, go out on the town. Like it wasn't sort of like too athletic. It was like
mm,
tailored and looked so great. And yeah, so I definitely wanted to put Yelena's kit there. And I kind of like the fact, so she's wearing Wilson shoes and she made sure it was like the green ones
mm,
to like match the dress. She's someone who, love her or not, and the looks she had before, again, almost like Naomi, she has a vision. And I like people with personality who
mhm,
are able to make whether you like the fashion choice or you don't like the fashion choice, but they make a choice, you know?
mhm. I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. No, I'm also obsessed with the look. I think it's so nice. In Stuttgart, she wore this very kind of basic black like two piece, and also I was obsessed with that. It was so basic. I think it was Lululemon actually, but yeah, she really pulled it off. I think simple goes really good for her. I mean, works well for her. So
Yeah. Yeah. Two other things I like here. Well, I love what Psycho Bunny is doing with Poprin. I actually like this sort of colorway they had. They have this blue version, and then I saw sort of like a sunset orange version that was really cool too. And also K Swiss on Rublev. Is
mm,
kind of, I think it's a collab with his brand
mhm,
and stuff. I kind of like that too. And then it's funny, the other two down here, Head, and then Cam Nori is wearing Babolat. They're like traditional racket brands that look like
mm.
they're going into apparel now.
I feel like Babolat apparel has been around for a while, to be fair. But I
Oh,
think they're making a
really?
comeback.
Interesting.
I might be lying about that, but I feel like I have seen them a long, long time ago. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, I think it's quite cool actually. I don't love the head kits, to be honest. I saw someone yesterday. I saw her match. I can't remember who it was, but she was wearing like this pinky corally kit with like polka dots on it. Well, it was a bit much. I was like, what's going on here? Because then I look at this and I'm just like that makes no sense together. Yeah.
That's so again with the sort of
Mm.
like it should look like a cohesive collection. Everyone, it should be cohesive. But Anastasia Palyochenkova is one of the pictures I have here, and she's wearing this black. And I love, again, someone with a vision, and she always wears something that almost you would go out on a night out wearing it,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll wear it on court. So this is sort of like a black dress, but it's like edged in lace
Yeah.
all around. And you're just like, go off, girl. Like, do it.
Is it Sporty and Rich that she's wearing this? Because I know that they used to sponsor her.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't think it is, but
I
I
don't
know
think
she
it
was with
is.
them for a while. Yeah. Very, very specific kind of style that she has. I'm kind of into it sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, girl, what's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the last one I want to talk about here, because when they first came on the scene, I thought Hugo Boss is going to be dressing tennis players. This is going to be great.
Mm.
And then we got what we got. And I have a photo here of Taylor because Matteo Berrettini is not at the French Open this year, but it's just not what I thought Hugo Boss was going to do in tennis.
What did you think they were going to do? Not condescending question, that was genuine.
Yeah, just a little bit more because Hugo Boss, it's tailoring, it's
Mm.
tailored. And I just thought they would push the envelope a little bit with the cuts of the outfits. And I think they just like, I wouldn't be surprised if they just, they were like, oh, let's just get whatever, random athletic fabric is, or just buy it stock and just slap a Boss logo onto it, is what it looks like to me.
I don't hate them though. I feel like they're very simple, but I feel like they just do the job, yeah. But I feel like,
Yeah.
Taylor looks great. Matteo always looks great. Some of the previous colors, like the purple, was a bit random, but I
Hmm.
don't know. I feel like they've gone for like the let's go classy and call it a day vibe. I
Right.
don't
Like
hate it.
simple, clean
Yeah,
look. Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
make them like super special, but I just think they were like, why not?
Yeah. Like even if they had some sort of detailing, like what Andre
Mm,
Rublev is wearing for K Swiss, with sort of like almost like the paneling, it looks
mm,
like. I don't know. I don't know. I expected maybe for them to push the envelope
yeah.
maybe just a little bit. So that's pretty much before we dive into what were our winners and our losers. I did want to touch on this subject a little bit because I think it's
Mm,
becoming more and more popular, or at least more and more sort of luxury brands are getting into tennis. And we've already talked about the beautiful APC collab with Asics, which I have here. But I wanted to bring up, as I was researching for this episode, I saw Lorenzo Musetti just signed for Bottega Veneta, which is a luxury brand. And then, of course, we had Coco and Coco's look with her collab, New Balance and Miu Miu. And then Yannick Sinner has been with Gucci now for a couple of years. What do you think? Do you think more brands are going to get into it? And then also, my big question is, especially with a brand like Gucci that's been with Yannick, it seems like they dress him off court a lot, but I was maybe hoping they would do more bags, tennis racket covers, something, hats, anything than just what they've been doing with Yannick so far.
I remember Yannick having a Gucci bag on court though. Did I? I don't think I'm making
No,
that.
so yeah, he did have that bag,
Mm.
but it's only just been that bag.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I was like, maybe they would have different versions, like looks and things like that. Cause I just feel like, and I feel that bag is pretty much just their travel duffel. Like
Yeah.
it's not like a new separate thing for tennis. It's just their travel
Mhm.
duffel, and he's walking out on it on court with it. But I don't know. What do you think?
I have a feeling it might be probably because Nike have a big hold on what he's wearing, so they're
Mm,
probably trying to block Gucci a bit. That's what I think. I might be wrong, But because I do feel like Gucci would have really like swooped in and done like the, you know, the bags, like the racket bags and everything. So the fact that they've
Right.
only really given him one bag, I think it's a bit telling, you know.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of, you know, luxury brands really adopting the tennis fashion space, I think for sure it's going to expand because they see how popular it is. Once again, tennis, you know, how impactful the fashion is. They are trying to get on the hype train. So I think we'll see a lot more of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really great because, I think we've always seen them with kind of a little bit with watches, like Rolex, I
Roland.
think, has always been like a sponsor, and then
Mm.
Arena Sabalenka is with a different watch brand as well. Like we've always
Mhm.
seen that, but it's nice
Yeah.
to see apparel starting to get with it. And
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind a Gucci Nike collab, just like we saw
Mhm.
New Balance Miu Miu. Like it would be interesting to see what they could do with those sort of clothing collabs as well. Yeah,
Maybe, you know, maybe coming soon. Who knows? Maybe they've been working on it. Maybe you've predicted it.
I hope so. I hope so. I really do because it's nice seeing that lifestyle. And I think the biggest thing for me with all of this is like we just spent, how long have we been recording? Almost 45 minutes recording, talking about fashion and things like that. And
Mm.
I can't go to a store and buy any of that. Like some of it you can,
Mhm.
but a lot of it I can't go to a store and say, "Can I get, like for example, the New Balance Miu Miu thing is so funny too because they released it. You can't get it till September."
Oh, I actually didn't know that. That is great. Great for all of us average people that want to buy Mimi, I guess.
I know.
I'm not in the tax bracket to be buying it, but you know, if I wanted to, I can't. They just took the
You
option.
can't. Yeah. If you want it, if you're like, "Oh my goodness, I saw, Coco
Mm.
Gauff in Rome wearing this cute Miu Miu kit. Where is
Mm.
it?" Not
No,
available.
nowhere.
So it's like it's all going to drop apparently in September. And I get it.
Mm.
It's part of, I guess, their US Open,
Mhm.
thing, but it's just interesting. And I
Yeah.
think it's actually dropping, if I remember the date correctly, I think it's like September 10th or something like that, which is after the US Open is over.
Interesting choice. Don't know why they would have made that, to be fair. I
I
understand, you know, dropping something later and teasing it for a while, but they should have, I think, incorporated that a bit more of the
Yeah.
big
Can you
event.
imagine if like, you know, again, it's a big tax bracket to be going to buy like a Miu Miu tennis dress, or like I think
Mm.
there's a tracksuit as well and there's some shoes,
Mhm.
but like drop it before and everyone buys it and they go to her matches
Yeah.
wearing it and it's like a thing. And I feel like right
They missed the
now
mark.
tennis
Mm.
apparel, they're just not there yet where they're kind of capitalizing on these moments.
Mhm.
So
For sure. I agree.
but that was our little fashion moment here. And now we have to pick the winners and the losers. You are the guest, so I will let you start. And what we'll do is we'll pick a winner for the women's, winner for the men's, and then a loser for the women's and loser for the men's. So,
Okay.
first, your winner on the women's side is.
It's gonna have to be on. I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. I'm
You're
gonna
not
say
sorry. Don't
I'm
be
not
sorry.
sorry. I will go with on. It is, yeah. Because I will say, every time that Iga has been on screen, my brain will be like, wow, she looks amazing. It's kind of like the same feeling I had when Marta wore that navy blue dress, the Wilson dress,
Mm-hmm.
literally like a few weeks ago. Every time she'll comment, I'll be like, wow, she looks amazing. Wow, she looks incredible. And I had the same thing with Iga wearing this on kit. So this is for sure my winner.
There you go. By the way, we were texting back and forth, and I was like, "Don't tell me. I'll be surprised." And I didn't think about it at first. You brought it up, so that's really great, and thank you for that because I was surprised for sure.
I'm glad.
I have to go for the yellow Wilson, and I can't pick between the dress and the sort of
Two
two
piece.
piece, but the
Mm.
yellow Wilson
Mm.
just nailed it,
Yeah.
kicked it out of the park. And I think it is so boring sometimes when it's like we pick the same one. But then every single season, like we do this episode, I'm sort of like, which brand is going to knock them off? Like, who's going to come
Mm.
and show me a look that I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's not happened yet. Like I saw that, and even March's dress, you're right about that sort of sage green. I saw the
Mm.
dress and I loved the cut of it, but I was like, it's okay. But the moment I saw the yellow, I was like, well, that's it.
Definitely.
And I just wanted to give a second place to Nike because I'm just like, what are they doing?
Mhm.
What are they doing? And for the first time, the women's Nike kits, I was like, okay, I see the vision. I see the idea. I see the sort of vintage look that they're going for. So definitely gave it to them
Mhm.
there.
I do agree on second place for Nike women. Yeah, that is my runner up.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, men's winner. What's your men's winner?
It is a tight one between On and Lacoste. I never thought I
Oh,
would say Lacoste ever in my winners for men, especially, but not a lot to choose from this time. I'm gonna have to say On. I'm
look,
gonna say it, and I said it.
and you said it, and you said it, and you owned it, and it is on. And no, I actually really love what you said there because I never really thought of it almost as branding. That is their brand. The
Mm.
ombre is their brand. And maybe us wanting to sort of like, well, do something different, do something different. It's not their brand. So yeah, I love that. Okay, cool. Well, my winner for men is actually a surprise as well. Did not think I was going to pick Lululemon, but Tiafo in the
Mm.
Lululemon blue, chef's kiss. I love, 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 love that blue against the clay, against his skin tone, and the fact that it's like a uniform. His arm, it's a look. Like that is a
Mm.
look for sure, and he nails it. And I did not think I was going to pick them. Like based on the looks that they've been doing throughout the clay season, they were this close to being on my worst dress list, and then they hit it out of the park for Roland Garros.
Mm.
So really love Lululemon there. I will start with the losers because for me, they're the same. And my losers were on.
It's good to have an opinion, you know.
My losers were on, but I have to say the men's Nike kits have to just because you know what it is like it's one thing if everyone's talking about your brand. I get that, it's kind of like, oh, everyone's talking about the brand and like whatever, as they say, all news is good news, as long as
Mm.
your people are talking about you, it's great. But I just feel like they're talking about Nike for the wrong reasons. Like you shouldn't be saying your players look like Luigi and Mario. Like that should not be
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to
part
go
of.
back to the drawing board next season and be like, well, what did we do wrong?
No one should be putting a gif of the hamburglar next to your next to your player, which is so funny because you're wearing Nike Court right now, which they started bringing out at the beginning of this year. Nike Court kind of like disappeared for a while, but then they started bringing it back, and I was like so excited. I was like,
Mm.
oh my god, I haven't seen that Nike Court symbol in so long. And I was like, oh, are they
Mm.
kind of waking things up a little bit, maybe doing some new things for this new season? And it's been okay. And then they just sort of went downhill, and I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
I thought we were bringing Nike Court back. So I will definitely also put them in the loser circle
Mhm.
for sure. Who are your losers?
Yeah, for men, the Nike, yeah, for sure. Said what I said.
Mhm.
Burglars and Mario characters, that's all really. For women, the only loser, it's not an overall brand loser, it's just that sage green dress. She's just the loser, that one dress. But I
Yeah,
do love Wilson.
yeah, that's fair for sure. So awesome. That was great. Again, I always love these episodes because I think, especially for audience like ours that are more sort of casual viewers of tennis, I
Mhm.
think it's so important that fashion is a talking point. Everyone, when the new kits come out, it's the first thing everyone talks about. So I always like jumping on and talking about
Mhm.
this topic. But there's tennis happening in Paris. And right now, we're recording this. It's almost 2 p.m. Eastern, and Roland Garros is still happening. So there's still some matches in round two. But I think we can just quickly talk about some stuff. I recorded with Nick for the end of round one, and our kind of highlight was upsets. There's so many happening. And now we're in round two, and it just continues. It's just like, I I don't know what's going on. I don't know what your thoughts are, but it just seems like. And here's the thing, with a few of the upsets, it's been very interesting. So, for example, Casper Ruud in press was saying like he had a knee problem that he was handling. Tsitsipas was like he's kind of been playing through some injuries as well. Do you just think they're just all exhausted?
I think so, yeah. I mean, the tennis, like the whole, not even just this season, it's like every single season, it's just so packed. Like every time an event is like not even halfway started, there's another one. Like, players are being announced for this one, and they have to go 2 days after they finish. They go to another event. It's just honestly, I can't even imagine how they do it. I think there
Yeah.
needs to be some kind of a limit on all of this because it's too much. Like even as a fan, like, oh yes, tennis is happening. Like this week, next week is happening, and the week after that, it's like always on. Yeah.
That is okay. That is such a great point because there's this, we know the saying absence makes the heart grow fonder. Coming at it as someone who covers tennis, follows the tour every year, there's a part of me that's always like, oh well, there's always tennis on. I'm never sort of like, oh, I don't have tennis, what do I do? But then at the same time, there is always tennis on. I saw Alcaraz last week. Guess what? I'm seeing him this week, and then I'm going to see him
Yeah.
next week, and then we're on the clay, and then we're going to do the grass, and then and it's just like non-stop. And then you get to the end of the year, and then you're like, great, nope, you only have 3 weeks off. Then you start again, and it's a cycle that I know there's been a lot of talk about in terms of scheduling and should the schedule be reconsidered. And I really think it should because there's no break. There's no and I do know the argument a lot of people make, I think, is that, oh, well, lower ranked players, have to play to sort of earn money and, get ranking points and things like that. But you hit the nail on the head there where it's just like sometimes it's too much. Yeah. So, I mean, with all the upsets and stuff, there's been some really interesting sort of everyone's bracket and draw is just kind of crazy, but especially Alcaraz, it's like all his seeds are gone.
Yeah. Ben Shelton is left.
Yeah,
That's it.
pretty
And
much.
then Holger Rune is left, Musetti, and I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy where on that bottom half of the draw, it's like decimated, and then Sinner's
Mm.
up top with still some people. I think Zverev still in there. Novak was playing when we started recording. I don't know where they are in that match right now, but yeah, it's been really interesting. But I also think there have been some great storylines coming out of it too, like another Italian player, Matteo Giganti. Who's the one who beats Tsitsipas? It's like, do they grow on trees? Do Italian tennis players just grow on trees and then they fall off and then they come on tour and decimate the field?
There is a tennis talent in that country for sure. It's actually insane how many amazing players they have. It's like every single one is like incredible. I don't know
Yeah.
how they do it, but
I do think they have figured out something in how they sort of they raise their tennis players, but how they sort of develop them and support them. Because I know for us as fans, maybe it's all of a sudden, they're like 1,700 Italian players, but they all had to come from somewhere. And it seems like they've really built up a system there of supporting them and, growing them and training them that now they can all sort of like come on to the tour and do so well. So that's really great to see. Okay, just to wrap up, because we have been recording for a while, and I like to keep these sort of round episodes short. Are there any round 3 matches that have been set that you are looking forward to?
So Rebecca and Ostapenko. Wow.
Okay.
That one is gonna be so good. So good. I am gonna be there. I'm gonna be there watching. So wow. Such great players, both of them. I honestly have no clue who's gonna take this one. No clue.
And the winner of those two plays Iga.
I know. So bit worried there. Bit worried there.
Yeah, that's such a good pick. I had picked Victoria Mboku and Qin Wen because
That's what I'm also looking forward to.
yeah, Victoria Mboku coming onto the scene new. I think she's still 19 and just has been playing so well. To be so young, to start doing so well and then have all the attention on you and you still handle it well. It's been really great to watch. And then of course, Qin Wen, the queen, who actually does really well on clay. So she hasn't had, I think, the best of seasons, especially compared to last year. But I'm really excited to see what this matchup, because for me, this is one that I would definitely put on upset alert. Like, I think Mboku is that good, but I feel like if Qin Wen can get through this, she might go really far in this tournament for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Victoria is such a talented player. I feel like both of these players that are in such different, times of their career, parts of the career, I
Mm-hmm.
guess you could say. I'm so excited to see how they're gonna be playing each other. Very, very
Yeah.
excited to watch it.
Yeah. No, those are two really, really great matches.
Mm,
So, Kaya, this has been awesome. Thank
I
you.
agree.
Thank you so much for coming on to Ground Pass. And Ground Passers, we will be coming to you after the end of every round. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on a podcaster of your choice, give us a 5-star rating, leave a comment. Let us know what your favorite looks, what are your winners and losers of the tennis looks that we have seen at Roland Garros. We'd love, love, love to hear from you guys. Thank you, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye,
Thank you.
guys.